allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask you to all please remain standing for a moment of silence, and we'd ask that you keep in your thoughts and prayers the brave servicemen and women serving our country, both here and abroad, as well as those who are in the Ukraine fighting for their lives. Thank you. Please be seated. Good afternoon. Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilman Martinez?
Here.
Councilman McSweeney?
Here.
Supervisor Schaefer?
And I am here.
And we have an excused absence from Councilman Mineta and Councilman Gregory.
Yes, both had personal emergencies today. So we hope that they are well. But we are here, we have a quorum, so we can proceed. Just by way of information, if you're watching us now live on the town's YouTube channel, you can click on the link to access the agenda for today. If you're interested in addressing the board on either any of the public hearings, you must be doing that in person. Now we don't have the virtual ability to do that. If you would like, you can submit comments through the link to the board for either any of the three listed public hearings for today. If you are interested in addressing the board on any of the agenda items for that, also you can send us a question or comment. We'll get back to you on that. And then you can also have the ability to send us a message regarding any matter that may not be on today's town agenda, but it's concerning town government or town services, and we will respond to that as well. If you're here in person, obviously, if you're interested in addressing the board on any one of the three public hearings scheduled for today, you need to fill out a card up front on the table and turn it into our clerk. If you're interested in addressing the board on the agenda, agendas are available on the table up front, so you can identify which resolution or resolutions you're interested in addressing today, and turn that into the town clerk. And then, as I said, there'll be a third portion for when residents can come forward and address the board on any matter concerning town government or town services that is not on today's agenda. And when you do come forward, you need to speak so that the microphone can pick you up, and the video as well, and identify yourself with your name and address. And then we ask you to keep your comments to 3 minutes. So we'll go into today's scheduled public hearings. First public hearing is a public hearing on designating the premises known as 14 Garfield Place, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757. Suffolk County Tax Map Number 0100-227.00-01.00-055.000, a public nuisance, authorizing the boarding up of said premises and authorizing the town attorney to commence litigation. I don't have any cards. Is the owner of the property here? Okay, would you please come forward, sir? And just state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Paul Freitag. The house of address is 14 Garfield Place, Lindenhurst, New York.
Okay. And who are you in relation to the property?
I'm the owner.
You're the owner?
Yeah.
Okay.
As of recently. I haven't received the title yet, but as of this year, I obtained the title to the house.
What day did you obtain title to the house?
It's tough to say. I signed paperwork approximately 2 years ago, but I still haven't received the title.
Well, if you say you signed paperwork, did you do that at a closing?
At a lawyer's office. The title was transferred from my father's name into my name.
Okay, so that means that you became the owner on the day that you signed the paperwork at the lawyer's office. Okay. If you haven't received a copy of the title, you can always get that at the Suffolk County Clerk's
I had the
office.
lawyer go down there a few months ago and get that for me.
Right, but you became the owner on the day that you signed the paperwork. So what day did you sign the paperwork?
I don't know. It was approximately 2 years ago.
Okay. Well, when you become an owner of a property, wouldn't you remember the day that you signed that? Oh, wait.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
It's a family house. It's been in the family for many years, and just because my father signed it over to me because he was battling cancer, and, you know, it wasn't much thought of it in my part, because I have, you know, my own family that I take care of and my own properties that I,
Right, but you're now the owner of this property.
yes.
And so when you own property, what is your definition of being an owner of the property?
Well, until I received the title and until I received paperwork stating that it's in my name, as far as I'm concerned, I wasn't the owner of the property.
Okay, so who's your lawyer?
I have
Or whose lawyer's office was the closing conducted at?
Caffey and Harris.
I'm sorry?
Caffey and Harris, they're in Nassau County.
Okay, and was there a particular individual lawyer that was in on this closing?
I believe her name is Caffey Harris.
And she represented you at the closing?
Yeah, she was there at the signing, yes, and
So did she advise you? You normally, and I did real estate law for about 11 years. So normally if I had a client in front of me, I would advise him or her exactly what was going on at the closing. So were you advised that you became the owner of that property on the day that you signed the paperwork?
no.
You were not. But, so now I'm telling you that you became the owner
Yeah,
of
okay, I
the
understand.
property. So what's your definition of being you said you own other property, correct?
I don't own other property, I live at other properties.
You live at other properties. Have you ever owned anything prior to you becoming the
No.
owner of this property?
No, nothing before that.
So once you became the owner of the property, what would you understand your responsibilities to be?
My responsibilities.
As owner of the property?
As owner of properties, my responsibilities are all responsibilities.
I'm sorry?
All responsibilities pertaining to that property address.
Right, what does that mean to you, all responsibilities?
Well, if anything happens as far as repairs and as far as
So
property
you would
damage.
keep it in good repair,
Yeah, that would be my responsibility, yes.
right? What else?
Anything that goes along with repairs and making the house in order, and according to whoever's living there.
Whoever's living there. So
Yeah.
would you be the person determining who's living there?
Yes,
Would you be the person who determines who's living there and how they act there?
according to the owner of the property, yes.
Right. I just bought a 2-apartment building in Albany.
Yeah,
So I have tenants, so I'm now responsible, even though I live here in North Babylon, I'm responsible for whatever goes on in Albany. So I don't know where you live. Could you state your address for the stenographer?
I live now at 460 Free State Drive in Shirley, New York.
Say that again, Free
Free State, Free State
State
Drive in
Drive in Shirley. So you live in Shirley, but you now own a property in Lindenhurst, so you're responsible for whatever goes on
Obviously, yes.
at that property because you're the owner.
Yes.
So you have an insurance policy on the property?
There's no insurance on the property.
So you have no insurance, but as far as you know, there've been people living at the property
It's a family-owned house, so there's family members living
with
in the
your
house.
permission, right?
With my father's permission,
With your father's permission.
because as I said before, I never received paperwork and title information. Still, even to this date, I
Right.
have no information stating that I am the owner of the house.
Right, so you are, and you became the owner on the day that you signed everything. So you need to seriously take, I'm not giving you legal advice, right? But you need to seriously take up with the attorney who handled the closing, where the paperwork is, what's your responsibility. You need to know that because as of that date, you became responsible for everything that goes on there.
Gotcha.
And that's important for you to know, right? So now a lot of things have gone on there.
Yes, I know what has gone on there.
And what's your understanding of what's gone on there?
I know about police activity, and I know about.
Now, when you say police activity, what do you mean?
I know that the police have been to the house several times over the last year or so,
Okay,
maybe particularly in the last few months.
okay,
I know about recent fire marshal and code enforcement being down at the house.
and just double back, when you say that you know the police have been there, do you know of any actions that the police have taken there?
Well, I know that my brother was arrested.
Who's your brother?
My brother is Eric
Eric
Freitag.
Freitag?
Yes.
And you know he was arrested for?
For I don't know what the charges are.
Okay. So Eric, just so you know, and this was in the notice that you received, Eric Freitag, whose date of birth is 5/21/75, was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance, 2nd degree, criminal possession, controlled substance, 3rd, intent to sell, criminal use, drug paraphernalia, 2nd, which is scales, And who's Helmut Freitag?
That's my other brother.
So he was arrested, his date of birth is December 16th of 69. And he was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a firearm. That was the first nuisance incident. This occurred on November 4th of 2021.
Okay. Yeah,
So are you the youngest brother?
I'm
or
the youngest brother, yes.
Right, so your father found you to be the most responsible
Yes,
outside of these two.
correct.
Okay. What else are you aware of?
To be honest, that's it.
That's it?
I know that the situation how it is today at the house is,
Do you know Eric Collier?
No,
You don't know who that is?
no idea.
So on March 2nd of this year, 2022, an Eric Collier, date of birth 10/16 of 88, was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon 3rd degree, criminal possession of a weapon 4th degree, a firearm or weapon, criminal possession, stolen property, 4th degree firearms. So those were guns that obviously.
And what date was that? I'm sorry.
That was on March 2nd of
Recently.
22. Yeah, so that's what triggered all of this today. So that's a second nuisance notice that was served. And so that gives the town board the ability now to conduct this hearing, which obviously we're doing. You're here as the property owner. And because you received the notice, there was a sign posted on the property.
Yes, I see.
Property's been boarded up.
Yes.
According to everything that I've heard, and I don't live next door or down the block from it, that it's been a living nightmare at the property. It's kept not just the regular patrol officers busy, but once a property gets into the ether of Suffolk County Police Department, and by that I mean a specialized unit, that means that there's serious stuff going on here. This isn't your typical, I'm dealing marijuana out of the backyard, Johnny, the high school kid.
Gotcha.
This is serious stuff, and it's stuff that we're not going to allow to go on, because you live on Free State Drive in Shirley. You have kids?
Yes,
You don't want this going on next door to you.
agreed.
That's why you're in Shirley, right? And that's why you're the one that your father had sign the documents, right?
I'm Shirley because that's where my family resides, yes.
Right, but also I'm giving you kudos for being responsible. Your father had you sign the documents.
Yes.
You've not been arrested here, right?
No.
These other guys have been arrested, 2 that you know because you're related and 1 that you don't know. But whatever's been going on there is completely unacceptable. So
Agreed.
that's why we're here today.
I understand and agreed.
So do you have any other understanding of what's going on here?
Some of the news is news to me, but I do understand what has been going on, not to your extent, but I know that I understand what has happened and I understand the reason for it.
Okay.
So
And
I'm in
you're the
agreement with the decisions that, the town has made.
Yep. So the way this works is that we're going to declare this based on, unless you presented some surprising information today, which you're not going to because you only know half of it. We're going to declare this a nuisance once we close this public hearing. And then what happens is you'll have to work with the town attorney's office to clear up the nuisance. I don't know what that means in terms of, it could mean a whole bunch of things.
Okay.
I don't know where Eric and Helmut are.
Well, Helmut is with me today.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Helmut's here.
I
don't know if Helmut, if you want to get up and speak on the record, though. Okay, I would advise you not to, since you are currently have charges pending. I don't think that would be a good idea for you. Again, I'm not giving you legal advice, but I'm going to tell you that I don't think it's a good idea for you to come up. If you do come up, just remember that the advice I gave you was not to speak. Are you represented by counsel now? And why don't you come up to the podium and just put your name and address on the record?
You could swear him in too.
Yeah, but I'll just ask you to put your name and address on the record.
Helmut Freitag. Oh, sorry, you want me to write over there?
No. You could just stand at the podium. Yeah.
Helmut Freitag, reside at 7 Freedom Court, Babylon, New York.
Say that again?
7 Freedom Court, Babylon, New York.
7 Freedom?
Correct.
Court. Okay. So why don't you raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Just state your name again.
Helmet Freitag.
Okay. Are you represented by counsel?
For this hearing?
Not for this hearing, for
charges
the
against
charges result that
I am.
of an arrest that took place on November 4th, 2021,
Yes,
where you were charged with criminal possession of a firearm?
yes,
And you're represented by counsel?
yes.
And who is that counsel?
He left this practice. I have a new attorney now. It's sorry,
Adam.
no, I was there too. Jeremy Miss.
Jeremy Miss, can you spell that?
Jeremy, Jeremy Miss.
And where is he located?
Yeah, reroute. So Riverhead, New York.
He's in Riverhead?
Yes.
Okay. And is he aware that you're here today?
No.
He's not?
No.
Do you think that you would want to speak to him first before you said anything further to us?
I just want to give you a little background about how everything.
Okay, well, understand that anything you say
fine.
is on the record,
That's fine.
and it can be picked up by the district attorney's office who's prosecuting you. You're being prosecuted in county court or district court?
Riverhead?
You're in county court
County
then?
court, yeah.
Yeah, so anything that you speak to today is going to be on the record. It's being recorded.
Yes.
And it's on our YouTube channel
Yes.
virtually. So anything that you say today can be picked up by the district attorney's office and
Okay.
used against you.
That's fine. I'm not going to say anything other than what the truth was and what
Okay.
the judge and the
All right, so you need to speak up
Okay.
so they can get everything on the record.
Okay.
What is it you would like to tell us today?
Okay. So, just gonna rewind back a couple of years. Okay, went through a divorce, and I moved back into Garfield house with my mother and my brother, who is constantly in trouble.
Is that
Right.
Eric?
Eric.
Mhm.
All right. So I was there to pretty much babysit my brother and take care of my mother because he's been a nuisance his whole life. All right. So living there a couple of years, things gotten worse. He started, the drugs he was always on, but the selling of the drugs, my mom had passed away in 2013, left him in the house alone. All right. So I lived downstairs, had a separate entrance. He lived upstairs, and he did his business upstairs, and I remained downstairs. All right. So
Did you know he was doing his business?
I went to the police
Mhm.
on 3 or 4 occasions. I went to the DEA, I went to Suffolk Narcotics Unit. First, I went to the first precinct, then the DEA, then the Narcotics Unit, then back to the first precinct, filed complaints. It wasn't until the last time I filed a complaint that I ordered them to put it down in writing, that there's a problem here, and this needs to be handled.
And when
And
did
I
that,
already-
when
I
did
already-
that occur?
That was about in September of 2021.
September 2021, you actually submitted a written complaint
Yes,
to where?
Suffolk First Precinct.
First
I have all the
precinct.
paperwork right here if you want to see.
Okay.
it. All right. Prior to this, I also have when my father actually evicted him and his girlfriend about 3 years ago, and the eviction was a court order. My father felt after the eviction was finalized, he never took the paperwork to the sheriff's department to execute the eviction. So he remained in the property. He didn't leave the property. All right. So
And did your father remain at the
So
property?
I convinced my father to do the eviction, and my brother Eric didn't like that. He threatened my life. All right. He threatened to kill me and burn my house and burn the house down and all sorts of bad things. All right. So now I have to live in fear that he's going to kill me. All right. So I stumbled upon a weapon one day. I was working at a house. There was an auction home that we cleaned out, and I tried to get my pistol permit. Well, they don't allow people below arrears and child support to have a pistol. Okay, so 2 years later, I paid up all the arrears, up to date on the child support, resubmitted my pistol permit, only to be put on a back hold for 18 months. Okay, so I've been waiting 18 months for my
So
interview
approximately
for a pistol permit.
when did you resubmit for the
Pistol
pistol
permit?
permit once you cleared up the arrears?
December of 2020,
Okay,
okay? I submitted my paperwork for a pistol permit.
and that's pending,
That's still pending,
right?
okay? So all this happened in that time,
Mhm.
okay? So this is why,
And has your father since passed?
no, my father's still alive,
He is, okay.
but I wanted my father to sell the house.
Mhm.
My father didn't want to sell the house. He wants to keep it in the family. I told him, this is a bad idea. You need to sell the house
Where does he currently reside, your father?
in Massapequa.
Okay.
Okay,
And you currently
so-
reside in Babylon?
I reside in Babylon,
And do
So-
we know where Eric resides?
in 14 Garfield. I did reside in.
Yeah,
14
Hank, right now.
Garfield. Eric resides in jail.
Right, okay, that's what I wanted to know, where
Yes.
he was.
Yes. So my father didn't want to sell the house. He wants to keep it in the family, just in case we needed a place to live.
Mhm.
So that's why he put the house in his name, because he didn't want to sell the house. I wanted to sell the house. So this is where we stand now.
So the house went into
his name.
Paul's name,
Yes, so
Because
he
your
signed
fa-
the papers some time ago,
right?
but my father never took the actual documents to have the transfer done. And I think the transfer was done only, the paperwork is only submitted for the deed transfer to him,
Mhm.
I think in October or around October,
Well, we're showing Paul as the owner.
as of when? I don't
I
know.
don't have the exact date.
So I don't
but-
have the exact date either, but I know he is the owner now, because if you search the town records, it shows Paul,
Correct.
all right?
That's why I asked Paul the question.
Yeah, So-
He's here because he's the owner.
yes.
So
So
Paul has full control over the property.
he does.
There's no conditions and nothing attached
He
to
does.
it. There's no life estate for your father. So
But
Paul is the sole owner
I-
of the property.
I convinced my father to evict him. We got the eviction papers. He didn't want to bring the eviction papers to the sheriff, so he remained there. I got an order of protection against him
Meaning
He was served.
those were things that you did previous.
after the eviction. After the eviction was served, he death threatened me. I got an order of protection
And that's
against
when you
him.
picked up the gun.
Correct.
Right.
So I got an order of protection against him,
Mhm.
and then he never answered the door to be served. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
they came to the house about 10 times to serve him for papers to show up in court. In the
Mhm.
meantime, I went to court about 5 times, missed several days of work, and last time, I couldn't show up because I wasn't losing this job over, him not showing up again, and I know he wasn't going to be in court, but they vacated the order of protection over that. So then I went back to the police and told them exactly what's going on here, and this needs to stop now.
And that's when in September of 21,
And then-
you filed a written complaint.
Yes,
Okay, but we're here now, and so how we're here is by the two incidents that I just described to you. And what that means is that you two who are here, you in particular, Paul, as the owner of the property, and you obviously as someone who's been either living there at one point or involved in the whole discussion, this house needs to be sold.
I agree.
So what you need to tell your father is that this house is being declared a public nuisance today, and we'll give you a copy of the resolution. And then you need to tell your father that you two need to meet with the town attorney, and that's Mr. Wilson and Mr. Guarino, who's in the second row there. He's the assistant town attorney that handles these matters, and we've got to come up with an agreement that the house is going to be sold. It's not going to be sold where, town, we're going to sell the house and we'll get a real estate and we'll do this. No, it's going to be on a very tight leash and tight timeline.
Our goal this whole period was to get rid of my brother,
Right.
all right?
Well, he's in jail
He's
now.
in jail, and
Right,
he's
and-
not coming back. And his
Good.
girlfriend was the other half of the problem. She was the brains behind all his criminal activity. And
But because you're afraid
She's
of
out.
him, you just told me on the record that you're afraid of him, right? So-
well, if somebody's going to tell you they're going to kill you.
Oh, I don't blame you for being afraid. I'm
Yeah, okay.
not criticizing you for it. I'm saying that you just told me that you're afraid of him, rightly so. I would be afraid of him also. So as long as he's on Earth, no matter whether he's in Yaphank or whether he's out or whether he's got friends who he calls from Yaphank on his day that they let him call somebody, you are afraid of him, right?
Correct.
That house needs to be in someone else's hands, right? So clearly, your father, I don't know if he's ill still or if he's got issues, whatever. We wish him well. You have owned the property and you've been there, and clearly, I don't know this person, I've never met him, Eric, but clearly he's somebody not to be fooled around with.
No.
So I'm just going to give you, I'll let the town attorneys handle it, and I'm not going to speak for the board, but I think they'd agree with me that the way you're going to resolve this is to get this on a very tight timeline and short leash of selling the property. So you have to take affirmative actions to show us that you're serious about putting an end to the torture that the neighbors have had to put up with. So just as much as you're afraid of Eric, so are they. And I've spoken to many of them in various places too, by the way. It isn't like they all came and ganged up on me and met me in my office. I've met them at various functions over the last 6 or 9 months. I know Councilman Martinez, Deputy Supervisor, has heard the same thing. And he was at a function with me when we heard from 2 moms who, and look, you grew up there, right?
I did.
You graduated Lindenhurst High School?
I did.
Paul, same
Yes.
thing?
Mhm.
Yeah. They're looking to get the same break. They don't need all this nonsense going on there.
Well, our goal was just to get rid of him, and he's
Right, so the goal is get rid of him, but as long as he's breathing on this earth, that house needs to move on and be sold to some nice family or whoever that's going to make it the wonderful home that you were raised in during the 60s and 70s and 80s before Eric got into all his nonsense with drugs and the issues that he's got. So again, the only decision we're making today is to declare it a public nuisance. That means that it's going to stay boarded up. No one can go in it until that nuisance order is removed by this board, and that will be based on the recommendations that come from the town attorney and the assistant town attorney. So what I would advise you two to do, when you've appeared here, we appreciate it. You've presented yourself very well here today, is you're going to need to sit with them and figure out a settlement on how we determine, and we will be confident that the nuisance will be removed. I will tell you, I'm not going to accept anything from them short of you selling the property, because I don't think you can control Eric. You've said it. I don't blame you. And I think that the only way we're going to be comfortable to know that the neighborhood's not going to be tortured is if this house is sold and it's in somebody else's hands. And you'll be with your family in Shirley, and you'll be where you are in Babylon, and your dad will be safe in Massapequa, and they won't have to worry about Eric popping up again. People who live on Garfield Place. It's a very nice block. Walk right over to the park, get the view of the bay, the water. Yeah, they want to live in peace too, and I don't blame them. You got any questions for us?
Yes, I disagree with the last few statements that you made as far as Eric being a problem and a nuisance, because he is locked up and he is locked away, and he has no right to come back to the property after an eviction. And so I don't see how that a nuisance can't be lifted and I can't retain ownership of the house.
Well, go get an attorney.
Yeah, I have an attorney.
Yeah, then get an attorney and have him talk to Mr. Guarino.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure can be a responsible owner and possibly live there or rent it out.
Go get an
because,
attorney. You'll have to do
I
a
want to stay in
lot.
this town too,
Paul, you'll have to do a lot more to convince me of that,
Sure.
because you signed for the property 2 years ago. And again, I don't know you at all.
Yeah.
I've never met you. All I'm saying is that the fact that this has been going on for the past 2 years.
But you don't have documentation of me owning a house 2 years ago.
Oh, you signed paperwork.
Yeah,
Listen, I'm gonna get the paperwork, okay?
Yeah.
I'll call my title company in the morning.
I have pulled up title information, and the title was in my father's name up until recently.
Up until when? So what, then why
Up
didn't you
until
tell
a
me
few
that?
months
ago.
Paul,
Last tax-
wait a second. So I asked you that question at the outset of this, so are you not telling me the
I'm
truth?
being perfectly honest with you.
No, you weren't, no, you weren't, because if I go
No, I
back.
am being perfectly honest.
Paul, if I go back right now, I asked you, and you kind of played dumb.
I'm not playing dumb.
Yes,
I
yes,
told
you did. You know what, we're gonna end this now because you just played cute on me.
No, I told you 2
You
years ago.
just played cute on me. You just played cute.
I explained it before.
Helmet,
I'm not
stop.
trying to argue with you.
No, you just played cute on me because I asked you these questions in the beginning.
And I was
giving you the
respectfully and
benefit of the
honestly.
doubt.
Yes,
Paul, don't play games.
I'm not playing games. with
You're
you.
playing games. So do me a favor, I'm not gonna waste everybody's time here because we've got other things to
Agreed.
do. But you in the beginning, I asked you these questions specifically to make sure that I wanted to know what you understood. So now you just told me that you have title paperwork that shows, I asked you that question.
I did a title search.
You said you signed
And I
paperwork 2
did.
years ago, and I asked you what that was about.
And I
You're
did.
playing cute on me.
I'm not playing cute on you.
Jerry, mark that down. I'm not going to
Okay.
accept anything short of them selling the property, so we're going to take action on the resolution. You go get your attorney and have him work with Mr. Guarino.
Agreed.
Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good day, Helmut.
Thank you. for your
Thank
time.
you. All right, do we have any other speakers on this? Okay, I'm going to make a motion to close and reserve, second by Councilman Martinez. All those in favor? Opposed? Hearing is closed, decision reserved. We'll go to the second public hearing. And make sure you don't play cute when you come forward. You all heard him. He's full of you know what. Second public hearing is a public hearing on designating the premises known as 501 14th Street, West Babylon, New York, 11704. Suffolk County Tax Map Number 0100-130-04-13, a public nuisance authorizing the boarding up of said premises and authorizing the town attorney to commence litigation. Do we have any speakers on this? Ma'am, would you come forward, please, and identify yourself?
Denise Genty. the
I'm
owner.
sorry, say that again?
Denise Genty, the owner,
And how do you spell your last name?
Jean, as in Nancy, Ty.
Right, and what's your address?
501 14th Street, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
So you live at the property that's the subject of the public hearing today?
Correct.
Who else lives at the property?
My husband, my.
What's your husband's name?
Jude Genty.
Jude?
Correct.
And do you and he own the property together?
Correct.
And is there anyone else entitled to the property?
No.
Just you two?
Yes.
Okay, and who else lives there?
My 2 children,
And who are your 2 children?
Emmanuel Genty, Jude Genty.
Okay, so Emmanuel Genty is your child? And Jude Genty?
Correct.
And does anybody else live there?
No.
Okay. And how long have you owned the property?
Since 2005.
Okay, and how long have you lived at the property?
Since 2005.
And your children have lived there all their lives?
Correct.
Did they attend the West Babylon schools?
Correct.
Did they graduate from the West Babylon schools?
Correct.
And do you recall what years they graduated from West Babylon?
Let's see.
Or how
No.
old are your 2 sons?
22, 23,
So Emmanuel is 23,
22.
22, and Jude is 23?
Correct.
Okay, so what's your understanding of why you're here today,
I got the paperwork.
right?
Town, my house has been labeled as a nuisance.
Right?
Yeah.
And what is your understanding of why we're here for a public nuisance hearing?
Not sure.
You're not sure? Did you read the notice?
I did.
And what did the notice say, if you can recall?
Boarding up the property.
Did it tell you why we wanted to board up the property?
Talked about police presence being called, arrests of my children.
Have your children been arrested?
Yes.
And what have they been arrested for, according to your knowledge?
Criminal possession of a weapon.
Both have been arrested for criminal possession of a weapon?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know that to be true?
Yes, they were.
They were.
They were.
And were they arrested at the property?
Correct.
Okay. Are they here with you today?
No.
Where are they?
One is home, one is incarcerated at the moment.
So who's where?
Jude is incarcerated, Emmanuel's home.
And why is Jude incarcerated?
Pending litigation.
Pending litigation
Yes,
for the arrest
correct.
that you understood him to be under arrest for,
Yes,
which just involved a firearm.
yes,
Did he have any previous arrests
yes,
that would have caused him to have been incarcerated?
yes.
Was he offered any bail at the time of his arraignment?
No.
He was not. Do you know what his previous arrests were?
Same charge.
Firearms.
Possession, yes,
So any of the arrests involving Jude involve firearms.
correct.
And Emmanuel is at home?
Yes.
And why does he send mommy here to speak to what this public nuisance hearing is about?
I'm not understanding. I'm the owner of the home. He's
You're the
not.
owner of the home, but you're not the one that's been arrested, correct?
Correct.
What do you do for a living, by the way?
I work for the court system.
In what capacity?
I'm a court officer.
You're a court officer.
Correct.
I knew that. So Emmanuel is the one that's put you here today. So you had to take off from work? Or you had to leave work early?
Yes.
Right. Are you tired?
Yeah,
Are you tired?
I am.
Are you tired from these two?
With my children.
Yeah, I understand that. I get it. But you're tired though, right? Where's your husband?
He's home, not feeling well at the moment.
Okay, and what does he do for a living?
He works for Verizon.
Verizon, he's a lineman,
Correct.
part of the CWA union.
Yes,
He works hard,
he does.
they work hard. So we got your husband who's not feeling well, I don't blame him, and you who are tired, and we have these two, right?
Yes.
So these two I've heard about since probably they left elementary school, went to junior high, and they were definitely celebrities in high school. And it's sad because if you know anything about me, I spend a lot of time working with kids who've either been arrested for drug sales or drug abuse, and spend a lot of volunteer time working with them. More than happy to do that. These two clearly don't care about you and don't care about your husband, because they put you in this very awkward, embarrassing situation, which is not going to carry the day here. We had a moment in time, I think probably pre-COVID, where we had incidents involving them, and we didn't proceed at that time on it, which we should have probably, but we have these two incidents, and you know that the nuisance notice says that on October 20th, 2020, Jude was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon second, which was a loaded firearm. And on March 19th of 22, just recently, and I received a lot of inquiries about this incident, where both Emmanuel and Jude were both arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon second degree loaded firearm. So under our town code, that means that this board can conduct this public hearing today, which we're doing, and can declare the property a public nuisance. We've already put your mortgage company on notice, PHH Mortgage of Mount
Right.
Laurel, New Jersey. And that would mean that we'd be able to, once we pass this resolution today, declare the property a nuisance, and you then would have to remove yourself from the property until you work an arrangement with the town attorney's office to guarantee us that that nuisance will no longer exist at the property. Clearly, the nuisance, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure this out, are your two sons. And I know that you love them, and I can appreciate that. And I've spent a lot of time with parents who love their kids too. And I've had to be the bearer of bad news to tell them that the tough love is the only thing that's going to work. Because clearly, if these two kids are 22 and 23, there might be a moment where they realize. I had a kid who was just turned 24 who finally realized that his way sucks, his ego is killing him, and he's got to ask for help. I'd never met your two children before, but I'm sure that they'll want to be tough guys. They're walking around with firearms. I don't think anybody's after them. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're associated with any of the so-called gangs. What was this gang? The Fifth Street gang or something? There was some Fifth Avenue gang in this area. And again, it's a group that isn't the Civic Association where you go once a month for coffee and donuts and figure out how to beautify the triangle up at 17th and Straight Path, right? Which is what I'm sure you'd rather be doing. Because I can see the exhaustion all over your face. And it's not fair. So Emmanuel should be here today. In fact, if I wanted to be a real jerk, which I might, because I'm in such a good mood today, I might want to put this over and have Emmanuel show up here. I don't think his attorney, though, would allow him to speak, unlike the former speaker who wouldn't listen to me but had to say something. Oh, yeah, these are the additionals, right? Whoa, they really are celebrities. Jude's got dating back to 18, arrested January 3rd for a warrant, March 17th of 18, criminal trespass in the 3rd, March 17th of 18, menacing in the 3rd, 7/8/18, robbery in the 2nd, 4/29/19 for a warrant, 1/11/20 we did, manual, same thing, robbery in the 2nd. I guess he's following along. We've had other cases, I guess, associated with this, Joseph Jackson and Marlon Gardner. Do you know either of those two people?
No.
Joseph Jackson? No? And Marlon Gardner. You know Marlon? So anyway, you're exhausted. I don't know whether, he's represented by counsel Emmanuel?
Correct.
Yeah, and he would be smarter not to, his counsel would tell him not to come here and speak, right?
Yes.
You're a court officer, so you know that's.
Right.
So we're gonna move forward today. What we're gonna do though is again, and I'm gonna take you at face value here today. You're here. You have a very responsible job. You work in Suffolk Court or?
Correct.
Suffolk Court, right? So, and that's even worse, you know. These two, I can't wait to meet them when I can. I mean, they are just, they really, really, really do. Yep, we're gonna move forward, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask you to just introduce yourself to Mr. Guarino.
I just want to say,
She used to be down in district court.
I'm not sure
Oh,
if I should at the moment. I spoke to an attorney who said to.
oh yeah, we'll have an attorney. Yeah,
Turn in and speak.
yeah. Who is that person?
Law Officer Stephen Politi.
Oh, Mr. Pleedy. Okay, yeah, he's good. We'll have him, if you can have him contact Mr. Guarino,
Yes.
and then we'll work with him
Okay.
on coming up with an arrangement. Just to tell you, and I'll tip my hand. My hand is that they can't return to the property ever. They can't live there. They can't be involved in there. I'm doing you and your husband a favor. You can say, Mr. Schaefer's the worst. He's the horrible, look what he's doing to you. I don't care what you say to them, you know, for your own, because of what you're involved with. But what I'm going to tell the town attorney's office, the only thing I'm going to accept, and I think they'd agree, is that you and your husband need to be able to live in peace and enjoy your property and not be exhausted and not be sick. You two don't deserve that.
Thank you.
But those two, and again, they can make a decision to change their lives, but again, they have to be willing to eat crow and put their massive egos aside and get their shit together. Excuse my French.
Agreed.
So have Mr. Politi contact Mr. Guarino. They know each other, and we'll be able to work with you from there.
All right.
Okay? Thank you. Thank you for coming. We don't have anybody else to speak? Okay. So I'll take a motion from Councilman Martinez, second by Councilman McSweeney to close and reserve. All those in favor? Opposed? Hearing is closed, decision reserved. Third public hearing is public hearing to lift town board covenant restrictions for planning board job 21-471, the YNL LLC. Do we have anyone here for the applicant? Yes, sir. Would you come forward? And just please state your name and address.
My name is Yuanzhi Chen, YUANCHUCHEN. I'm one of the members of the property owner. And the address is 50-110 Road 109, West Lebanon.
And how many members are there of the LLC?
2 members.
2 members, including you or two?
Including me.
So you and another person?
Yes.
And who is that other person?
Another person, her name is Jackie Chen.
Jackie Chen?
Yes.
CHEN?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. What are you asking for today?
We applied for the lifting of the covenant and restrictions regarding the numbers of the restaurants in the shopping center.
Okay, so that would mean that you're looking to have additional restaurants be able to be added to the shopping center?
Yes, not necessarily. We now having 4 restaurants, and the restrictions is for 2 restaurants.
Okay,
But,
so like if we told you had to get rid of Gino's Pizza?
Gino's Pizza is one of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy if you said get rid of Gino's Pizza.
I don't want to get rid of anyone
No,
because
we know that.
they are providing very nice service to
They're
the
providing
neighborhood.
excellent, as you can tell by my waistline, so.
Yes,
They, no, so you're here to ask for us to lift this so that you can maintain what you have there.
that's right. That's right.
And the big West Babylon question is, when are you getting someone to take ShopRite's place?
That's a big question. We are working hard to get some tenants in. And we had one buyer interested to take over, but because of the CNR, they walked away. They don't want to have the CNR. In a matter of fact, the
So
title.
if we approve this today, you'll get them back on the table.
They may come back. They have a like kind of exchange schedule. They may be gone. Don't
I know
come
their
back.
attorney, so I'm gonna tell her to get them back.
If can,
She
I
told
will
me
be.
about this a month ago, so.
Thank you very much. We'll appreciate.
Because we
if
like
you
the
do that.
center and we appreciate the fact that you're there.
Thank
And
you.
that it's always been a place where if there's ever been an issue, we've been able to reach out to you to resolve any issues that are there. We'd ask you to keep an eye on the landscaping and the maintenance.
Of course.
There's some garbage bags on the property over by Bethpage.
Yeah, we keep doing. The problem is the garbages are not come from our shopping center, but from
From all over.
whoever's dumping.
Yep.
But we cost money to clean them up.
Yep.
For the last 20 years, we're doing that.
Yep, we just need you, if you could, take a look at it. I've noticed over the last
We
couple
will
of
pay more
weeks.
attention for sure.
So that would be good. But we're gonna approve this today.
Thank you very much.
We just had to conduct the public hearing and
Of course.
then we'll approve it in a resolution that's on. Yeah,
Understand.
that's on, so that way you can get moving, because we will do whatever we can to work with you
Sure.
to get a supermarket in there, and a supermarket that ShopRite was a great supermarket. It worked very well with our brothers and sisters in local labor.
Sure.
And so we would hope that you would look for something to that effect that would enable that shopping center to open once again.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank all
so
of you.
I'll take a motion to close and reserve from Councilman McSweeney, second by Councilman Martinez. All those in favor? Opposed? Hearing is closed. This is reserved. So I don't have any cards on the agenda. Is anyone wishing to address the board on the agenda? Yes. No problem. Sure, no problem. Just identify yourself for the record.
Hi, Lisa Murray, 90 Edel Avenue, West Babylon, New York.
Yes,
I border that property,
on Edel.
on Edel, right behind the bank that you said where it's trash.
There's a couple of black garbage bags that
Yeah.
have been there for a couple of weeks.
And I get that, you know, we do need a supermarket in there. We need some businesses in there. The restaurant business has been very difficult, you know, it's been difficult for the pandemic. My husband and I acknowledge it, and we feel for the people who really tried very hard during COVID. Our concern as being part of that neighboring area is that if the covenants and restrictions are lifted, does that green light the ability for that property to house bars that are open to a longer period of time?
No, because bars are under a different section.
They're under a different section. That is the
This
thing.
would only legalize what's there now.
What's there now? Okay, I just wanted on record that is
Yes.
something that
We had a bar there.
we did have a bar there.
How long have you been on Edel?
Since 1986.
Oh, so you were
know.
here the last time we had
Yes, and I
the
sat,
issues with the bar.
yes,
Yeah.
all through that. So when
I'm old.
so am I.
You're not.
Oh, I beg to differ. But that we just want to always have it on record when the property comes up for
Yes.
discussion, that is reiterated.
Yeah, we'll
for the
reiterate
safety.
that when we send them this resolution,
Okay,
that this just legalizes what's there,
absolutely.
and that, and bars are under a separate section of the code.
Okay,
We're not having a bar back there.
okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Good
those
to
days
hear.
were- Yeah, those days were crazy.
And
It was a really bad bar.
it was.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that the attention to the landscaping, I liked your phraseology, because that is very much appreciated. And if some particular attention could be spent on the Edel Avenue area, there is a little side piece, if you look at the property, that has been was under Suffolk County and now has been reabsorbed through.
Into the center?
Mhm.
So it's on Edel?
It's on
It
Edel,
fronts on Edel?
fronts on Edel.
Was it a house that's been knocked
No,
down?
it
It's just
was-
a vacant piece?
It was a vacant piece and there was a pass-through walkway,
Oh, yes.
if
yes,
you
yes,
remember
yes.
correctly.
Yep.
That does not present well in the
Yeah, what
neighborhood.
we'll do is, Ronnie, if you can, let's get that on the radar,
Thank you.
and we'll have Rachel, I don't see
She
Rachel.
was here.
But Matt's here.
Oh, Matt's here. Hey, Matt. Matt Esposito is our chief planner.
Okay.
So we'll have him as part of this.
Okay,
We'll include that.
that'll be great.
Yeah, because I monitor the grasses in the front, and
Yeah, this is off to the side,
Yeah.
so
but we'll get that included into this.
I appreciate that very much.
That's good. Thank you, Lisa, for
Thank
coming
you very
down
much.
today.
Good to see you.
Okay. All right. So that was on that resolution. We don't have anybody else wishing to speak? No. Okay, so we'll go into the resolutions for today. I have resolution 361.
I'll offer resolution 361. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 362.
I offer resolution 362.
And I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. I'll offer resolution 363.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 364.
I offer resolution 364. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 365.
I offer 365.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 366, which I'll offer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 367.
I offer 367. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 368.
I offer 368.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 369. Sorry. And I'll offer it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This has been one of those days. Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 370.
I offer 370.
All
Second.
those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 371.
I offer 371.
And I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. I'll offer Resolution 372.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 373.
I offer 373.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 374.
I offer 374.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 375, which I'll offer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 376.
I offer 376.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 377.
I offer 377.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 378, which I'll offer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 379.
I'll offer 379.
I second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 380.
I'll offer resolution 380.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. I'll offer resolution 381.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 382.
I offer 382.
I second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 383.
I move resolution 383.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. I'll offer resolution 384.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 385.
I offer 385.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 386.
I move 386.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. I'll offer resolution 387.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 388.
I offer 388.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 389.
I offer 389.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 390, which I'll offer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 391.
I offer resolution 391.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 392.
I offer 392.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. I'll offer resolution 393.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 394.
I offer 394.
Second.
Would the clerk call the roll?
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Supervisor Schaefer.
Yes.
Councilman McSweeney,
Yes.
Resolution's approved. 3 votes in favor, 2 absent. Resolution 395.
I offer 395.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 396. I'll offer that for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 397.
I offer 397.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 398.
I offer 398.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 399. I'll offer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 400.
I offer 400.
I second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. Resolution 401.
I offer 401.
And I'll second. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. I'll offer resolution 402.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved. And resolution 403.
I offer 403.
And I second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. That's it for the resolution. Do you have anyone who wishes to address the board during the open portion? Seeing none, take
There's a
motion.
gentleman
Oh,
over there.
I'm sorry. So just come forward and state your name and address for the record.
John Timogedny, I reside at 63 Nassau Avenue. Well, I own the house, I don't reside there.
Oh, okay.
I inherited it from my father, and it was boarded up for nuisance reasons. And I have,
So how long have you owned the house?
it was put into a life estate back in 2013.
Okay.
My father passed away.
So that means that are you the sole owner with the
Yeah,
life?
I'm an only child, both my parents.
Just spell your last name for the record.
Samojedny,
Okay,
Samojedny.
right.
I have many people interested in buying it, and I'd like to go for it, getting the boards taken off so I could do a couple of repairs and sell it.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Okay, what needs
So
to,
have you been in the house?
I was there about 2 months ago when the town came a couple times, said I can't be there, I don't own the house, they told me. Which I came out with the deed and everything and all that stuff, and, you know, the life estate paperwork and all that, and showing my ID, and, you know, they went forth with breaking into the back door and ripping the back door off.
Who broke the
The
back?
town guy,
The town guy broke
the
the back.
attorney's
So,
investigated.
Joe, let's roll back a second. So you said that you owned the property since 2013?
I grew up there as a child, and it was put into a life estate in 2013.
So you went to North Babylon High
I
School?
went to St. John the Baptist, West Islip.
St. John the Baptist. And
Before
what
that,
year-
Our Lady of Lourdes in West Islip,
And what year did you graduate?
2000.
2000. So
Yes.
you're about 40?
Yes, correct.
And you lived there all of your life?
Until about 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Something bad?
No, I stuck my foot on the thing.
Oh, okay. Until,
About 3-4 years ago, I went down to Florida for a couple of years.
you went to Florida?
Yeah, I moved to Florida.
And who lived there when you were in
My
Florida?
father was there, and a home health aide moved in there to help with him, and then I guess he started getting sicker, and she put him into a nursing home.
Okay, and do you know what nursing home he's in?
He's not in the nursing home anymore, he's deceased.
Oh, he passed, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I found out by mail, 3 weeks after he died, by a letter in the mail that he was dead.
Okay, and obviously your mom pre-deceased?
Yeah, she died about 10 years ago now, yeah.
Okay, so, and when did you find out that he passed?
May 7th, and I think he died April 28th, I believe.
Of what year?
2020.
20,
Yes, I have a death certificate with me.
right, and John, you were in Florida at the time that you learned of his death?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, who was in the house between the
There was-
time that you went to Florida?
There was some girl that was hired, some girl named Amy, to take care of him and stuff. And evidently, she had a bunch of people living there. I found out from neighbors and stuff. I tried to go into the house once or twice.
Can I just ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
So do you know Amy's last name?
Something with an SSMC, something.
Did you know Amy before she was hired?
No.
So you only knew Amy as the person who was
Her
hired
health aide, yes. She was coming a couple days a week and then ended up moving in there.
to care for your
Yes.
father, and then she ended up moving in there.
She moved in, and then evidently she moved a bunch of other people in there, I found out. I
Okay,
tried to go there once and knocked on the door, and somebody answered who I didn't know who they were. They wouldn't let me in the house.
okay.
No.
So fast forward to most recently, when you said the town guy ripped the door off?
Yeah, I was inside because I came to, I was gonna start taking the wood off and
And
stuff.
who were you inside with?
I was showing the new homeowner the house. Well, not the new homeowner, one of her, prospective homeowners,
And what
To
was
buy
that person's name?
Scott.
Scott? what?
Yes. Was that?
Scott what?
It's not the homeowner yet. I mean,
No, what's Scott's last name?
it starts with a G.
It starts with a G?
Yeah, G, I got it wrote down in the paperwork somewhere.
Okay, because I have on my phone some video of all of that encounter that day.
Okay.
So who was the woman that was there that day?
I believe his wife, I believe.
Okay,
Yes.
so this was Mr. and Mrs. Scott,
Yes.
G.
G-A-G-A, I think someone
And
else.
how did you find Mr. and Mrs. Scott?
Through a friend of the family that, I've known since I was little.
So are they still interested in buying the
That,
property?
and I have many other people, I have many other inquiries. The
I'm
next,
sorry?
I have many other inquiries also. Next door neighbor. is interested.
Right, but when we went there that day,
Yes.
there was a lot of activity that took place that day. Conversations back and forth, some yelling, people videoing.
I wasn't yelling at all.
No, I didn't say you were. I'm
Okay.
just, I'm trying to,
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to like,
Okay, figure out what's going on.
kind of figure out what's going
Okay.
on. Want to figure out who you are because I've known about 60, when I know about an address and I can recite it off the top of my head, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no.
And I've known about your address since I got back here in 2012. So I
Yeah.
became town supervisor. I grew up in the neighborhood.
Okay,
So I know a lot of people on Nassau Avenue and Suffolk Avenue and Queens. And I know a lot of the moms who are in the PTA at the Belmont Elementary School because I gave them awards when I was supervisor the last time. So again, I'm old. So they brought 63 Nassau to my attention, right?
okay.
So you are just back on the scene since when?
About a month before it got boarded up.
So if I went and talked to all the people I've talked to, and I asked if John, what's your last name?
Samo Jedney.
Samogetti?
Samo Jedney, yes.
Right, if I asked people, has John been around here prior to a month ago? What would they tell me?
Prior to a month ago, yeah, I was there about a month before it got boarded up, which was back in 2020.
Right, it got boarded up in 2020.
Yes.
And then it got most recently boarded up again.
No, it's been boarded up
Well, it
since
had to
2020.
be reboarded, I'll call it.
Just the back door, because I opened the back door and then the town guys like.
But there were
ripped it
people
off.
living in there.
There was nobody living in there.
No?
No, I was in there for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, trying to work on it.
Well, isn't that the definition of living in there?
I was in there every
You
day.
didn't go in there and show somebody the house in an afternoon for an hour and say, hey, what do you guys think of
And then
this?
I was there every day cleaning and
No, but
cleaning.
you were living there, right?
No, living, I was there during the daytime working on it.
Oh, during the
cleaning it,
daytime? And
Cleaning
where
up,
were
well,
you at?
into the nighttime too. I mean, I wasn't,
Well, where did you stay at night?
I was staying in hotels like I am now for the past 2 months. Because I'm not allowed in the house.
You're staying in hotels?
Yes, since
What
I-
hotels?
Different hotels, time, extended
Okay.
stays and stuff, and staying at friends' houses.
Okay,
Starting to run out of money here, $100 a night for a hotel ain't fun,
right, okay.
I wanna get this.
Do you know what's been going on at the house?
I haven't been by there since,
I'm saying, have you been told anything
I
about?
have some paperwork says that they were,
Have you seen the inside of the house?
yes, I was inside of it.
And what do you think?
It's trash, I wanna clean it up so I could sell it.
Right, and do you have the wherewithal to do that?
Yes, I have a lot of friends that are kind, in construction and stuff, they're willing to help me do some stuff, I have money saved up, I already put some money down on deposits for fencing and, new driveway and stuff like that. It recently has a new roof, solar panels, and new oil burner, so,
And when did it get all that?
2010 maybe,
That's not the definition of new.
10 years old, roofs are good for 40 years, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I understand that, but my definition of new is like last year.
Oh, no, not that new, fairly new, okay.
Right, because
Sorry.
you understand, what,
No,
so
I know.
since I've been back, this house has been a problem. For
Evidently
the
so,
capital
yes.
P.
Yes, evidently so. That's why I'd like to clean it out, get whatever belongs I have left there that people can steal and sell on me.
Look, I don't know you, I've never met you, I don't trust you right now.
Okay,
And I don't have any reason to, because, and I wanna go refresh my memory by looking at the video again.
okay.
And I wanna refresh my memory from talking to some of the neighbors.
All right.
And understand, just like, and I don't know if you were here when the first public nuisance was up.
Guy helmet.
Well, Helmut's brother,
Yeah,
Paul,
okay, yeah, I walked in just as it was
just
ending.
as he was doing
Oh,
his
yeah.
act, yeah, so again, I'm more than nice and willing to figure out how to get that sold. We don't want that there, we don't want it boarded up, we want a nice family, sending their kids
I
to
remember-
Belmont.
I remember growing up there, it was a nice house.
Right,
I'd
we
like
want, that's
somebody
what
that,
we want, so I'm not looking to play
Yeah,
games
no.
with you, and we're not looking to play games with you to like just keep you out of the
Yeah.
house. But once we've gotten everyone out of the house, it's been nice and peaceful.
yes, I know, that's why I'd like to get whatever
And
belongs I
they're
have.
all thrilled, the neighbors, they don't like looking at the boards, but they'll take the boards. Beside, what was her name, the nurse Ratchet, what was she?
Amy, she's some skinny little, deathly looking girl, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Black
she's a
hair.
drug addict.
Yeah, that's what I found out, everybody was in the house.
Everybody was selling drugs out of there.
Yeah.
I had to, one night, I'm just remembering now, I had to wait at the Ralph Seiss's up on Little East Neck.
Across from the deli, yes, yes,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
because the road sergeant, to not be named, but everyone knows the road sergeant I'm talking about, it was Labor Day weekend, and they busted like 5 guys coming out of there for all sorts of antics. It was insane that night of what was going on there, and I'm sure, I don't know.
I have paperwork, I see all of the names on arrests and stuff, and.
Yeah, I don't have the actual document. Mr. Guarino, did you want to come forward and add something?
Just wanted the board to
Just make sure that the microphone can pick it up. Do you know, John?
No, I haven't met.
Okay.
I just wanted the board to know that recently, within the last month or so, there was another arrest of Amy for drugs. So the problem is not.
At 63?
Yes, yes,
Right.
At 63?
yes. And we're actually working on a second nuisance notice as a result of that arrest.
Yeah.
So I just wanted the board to know that.
How
there's
come I
been-
wasn't informed of this?
Well, you will be when we get the notice out.
Exactly,
She was in the house?
yes,
Amy was in the house?
in the basement.
Yeah, John. Look, John, and again, I'm going to get back to what's your definition of a responsible property owner. And I understand you lost your father, you were in Florida, you're here. we're more than willing to figure out what's going on. We'll check with the surrogates court, we'll check with the county clerk's office, we'll see because in order for you to sell it, there's gotta be a clean title to it, which includes not having a public nuisance on, filed against the title, which this would be once we adopt this, but also having a clean title, that there's a chain of title, which shows that you've got the authority to sign a deed to sell the property. Nobody's gonna be able to close with you. So Mr. and Mrs. Scott G, who you were showing the property to, or the thousands of other people that you say are interested, and by the way, right now, there's a lot of bidding wars going on, and if that property was at least in some sort of semblance of order, you'd be able to get. I don't think there's a mortgage on it.
No, I own it outright, there's nothing owed on it.
Right,
But
right,
I
so,
think a little bit of back taxes, I think, a year or two, or something like that.
right, so you'd have to do a
Yeah, I know.
redemption through the county, but again, it's gotta have clean title, so I know you've spoken to Mike Mike Hoffman in Babylon Village, I think you
Yes.
had Mike, and he bailed. Who was the next guy that was gonna be the attorney? Did we ever get a name?
No, he never gave us a name.
We just got Mike Hoffman.
Yes.
Right, Mike, he
Yeah, that
bailed.
was one of my friends was gonna try and sell the house for me, I really don't even know who that guy
No,
really
no,
was.
but we had an official inquiry
Okay,
from Michael Hoffman, who's a respected attorney in Babylon Village,
okay.
who
Oh,
contacted.
yes, yeah, you're right, yes, I remember that, yes.
Did you engage with him?
Yes, I did, and he said that, I don't know, you guys weren't able to talk to him or accommodate his date or something, or?
No, we're able to accommodate him. He knows that. He's a respected attorney in Babylon Village. So, and then we were told there was gonna be another attorney, which I don't know if you have an attorney.
I don't know what to do here, I don't know what I need,
Okay, what I would say, what we have to do is, you're not represented by counsel now?
No.
Okay, so that means that you're not represented by counsel, that means that you can speak directly to Mr. Guarito.
Okay.
He is a very good problem solver.
Okay.
He's a very good problem solver for coming to a solution that the residents will no longer be tortured on Nassau Avenue.
Okay.
That we'll be able to resolve this and we'll be able to approve something that's going to be long-lasting and have integrity to it. It's not gonna be, we're lifting the boards off and then you're gonna spend the next 8 years renovating it.
No, I wanna renovate and
Right.
get it done within
I'm
the
just
next,
saying, I'm using
this summer,
that.
by the end of the summer, I wanna have it transferred and.
I'm using that as an example because you're gonna come up with an agreement with him and it's gotta mean something.
Yes.
So you can't tell us that, Sammy's gonna bring the plywood and Julie's gonna get the bathroom
Yeah, I know.
fixtures. And
I know,
this is gonna be, like, you've gotta have the wherewithal.
Yes.
Quite honestly, I think, and again, I'm into predicting today, what you need to do is work out a deal with him. Everyone's out of there and you're gonna have to sell it as is and take whatever value you get.
I can't fix it up and do a new driveway so I can make more money on the house?
Listen, you can do whatever you want. I'm saying I don't believe you can. I'm not saying
okay.
that I don't think your carpentry skills are good.
I mean, I would pay a mason guy to do the driveway, I wouldn't do that.
How are you paying the mason guy to do a driveway?
Write him a check or?
Right, I'm saying, but do you have enough funds?
Yeah, I have a decent amount of inheritance from my father. yeah.
Okay, so then you'll be able to use that money to get the house in some sort of shape to sell it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to provide proof. I mean, I'm gonna wanna look at all this, because I'm not gonna get, because when they're tortured on the street.
I don't want to go back to what was happening.
Tortured. Listen to
I
me.
know.
11 o'clock on a Saturday night, text messages, screaming and yelling, videos, Facebook posts. I'm not putting up with it.
Yeah. No.
You got it?
Yes, understood.
Because I'm not gonna be happy. He puts up with the same thing. He puts up with the same thing. He grew up in North Babylon. So we have to put up with it.
Yeah. I remember what it was like growing up. It was a great place to grow up.
No, but I'm fast forwarding it to a terrible place.
Yeah, I know.
So we're not going through that again.
I don't. I want to get cleaned up.
Not
and
dealing
sold
with
and
that. So
have a nice
once we
family
got the
open.
boards on, I'm not letting them off until we know
Yes,
that this is not gonna be a circus.
understood.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, so you should talk to Mr. Guarino.
Okay.
And you can work directly with him now that you don't have counsel.
Okay.
And we'll see what you've got.
Sounds good.
You've got to be able to show him proof of funds, contractors, like this is gonna be on a very tight timeline. But we're not, I'm gonna make it clear, not taking those boards off until we know.
Understood.
Like, everybody's gonna be at the street, ready to do all the work, and the work is gonna get done in a month.
Okay,
It's not gonna be 8 years later and, you know, friends from Iowa came in to visit and you're putting nails in, yeah, no, we're not doing any of that.
I have money ready to put in to get it, so I can get it back out.
Got it?
Yep, understood.
You don't know Amy at all.
No.
If I find out that,
I've met her coming there, I mean,
if I find out that you've either been around before you said you were, or you know Amy, and we'll find out,
okay,
that's not gonna go well. That's not, because then you've not told us the truth.
I don't know her until she was in the house taking care of my father.
Right.
Never,
And did you ever know her to be?
prior to that, no, never know.
No. Did you ever know her to have an issue with drugs or to be?
I was told a rumor about that by one time, but
A
then
rumor?
I heard it from somebody that she was smoking pot back in high school, and I don't know, I
Well,
asked her,
that's
she's like,
legal. That's legal.
yeah, nowadays it's legal.
unfortunately, But it's legal.
I asked her, she's like, no, I don't do that no more. I said, as long as you take good care of my father.
Did Amy grow up in North Babylon?
I'm not sure.
No, you don't know where she.
I don't
grew
know,
up?
I don't know her.
Do we have Amy's full name?
It's something SCH.
Maybe we can find out through the arrest record? If you can ask
Actually,
our Commissioner
I
of
might have her,
Public Safety.
the name might be on this paper I have here, actually. Somewhere. Yeah, it's right here. Would you like to see it?
You could just read it.
SCHMUTZER.
Schmutzer?
Smutzer, yeah.
Schmutzer?
Smutzer. SCHMUTZER.
Schmutzer.
Schmutzer, yeah.
She must have had a tough time in school.
Schmutz. That's what they call her, man. Yeah, 2/25/74 is her birthday. That's
225.
Yeah,
February 25th, 1974. I don't know, that's what this all says about her.
And it didn't give an address.
It
other than
says,
63,
was arrested for possession of controlled substance.
Okay. All right, well, we'll see what we can find out, but we're gonna take it face value right now. We're
Okay.
not taking the boards off and giving you free reign.
Okay, not a
We're
problem.
gonna work with Mr. Guarino, because we're gonna come up with something that you're gonna have to sign and this board approves.
Okay.
So, introduce yourself now, and you guys meet, and and he'll let us know what you come up with.
And as far as these things here, these are not my signatures for these.
I'm sorry, what things?
I guess there was 2 board hearings about this prior to it getting boarded up. And it
Yes, well, we
says,
would have had a,
somebody wrote my name here, that's nowhere near my signature.
well, that's probably the,
And nor is it not even spelled right.
that's probably.
Somebody that was at the house at the time.
Yeah, that's probably the smallest crime that they committed while they were at the
Yeah,
house.
I'm just saying, I didn't know about these hearings, otherwise I would have been here
Yeah.
pertaining to my house.
And you were in Florida?
Yes.
When we boarded up is in 19? When did we first board it up, did you say?
No, I was here the first time you boarded it up.
Oh, you were?
I was in the hospital for that.
You were in a
I was in
hospital?
Good Samaritan Hospital, yeah, I had bad ulcers on my legs, bad circulation.
And where were you, so go back, when?
I was in the hospital for 2.5 months. You guys boarded it up, you took
When did we board it up?
2000.
Well, what does the card say? Does it say?
It doesn't, I don't have the information for that first one. It was boarded up for about 3 months.
And
You guys took
where
my
were
snowplow
you-
trucks, you
so
took my boats out of my yard, I don't know
Wait,
why that
wait,
was.
whoa. So where were you prior to going in for your ulcers on your legs in the hospital? Where were you living?
I was in Florida, I came up here to go to the doctors, and I went back to Florida afterwards, after I got removed the boards off the house and set my father back up in the house.
Wait. So your father was still in the house
Yes.
and Amy was the nurse.
Aide
or
or
health
whatever.
aide, Whatever.
And I found out later that she was nothing qualified of that sort at all.
But you came up from Florida.
About a month before it was boarded up the second time.
Oh, just recent.
Yes, the recent one, yes.
But your father was already dead.
Yes. I was in Florida when I found out he was dead by mail.
I'm confused. So you just said that, when were you in the hospital for the ulcers on your legs?
I think it was 2018, I believe.
Okay.
17 maybe?
And you said that we boarded up the house while you were in the hospital?
Yes, I don't know why that happened.
And we took boats?
Yeah, I had 2 boats in my backyard and 2 snowplow trucks. I had a tow bar and air compressor.
But where were you right before you went into the hospital, right? In 2018.
Yes.
So if you were in the hospital, say in April of 18, where were you on March 31st of 18?
In the house.
In the house?
Living in the house with my father, yes.
And was Amy the health
No.
aide?
No. It
No,
was just me and my father in the house.
okay. So when did Amy become the health aide?
After I got out of the hospital, couple months down the road after that. I don't know the exact date.
And after you got out of the hospital, did you go back to the house?
I went back to the house, removed the wood. There was a bunch
But
of.
we boarded the house up as a result of
They
arrests.
said, no. The first time it was boarded up, there was boxes in the living room. The code inspector said it was a fire hazard. When my mother passed away, I moved her stuff out of storage. And there was boxes in the living room. There wasn't like a clear path directly to like a door.
What
That's why it was
hoarder
boarded.
situation?
Evidently, that's what they said. The
Your
one
mother was a hoarder?
No, I moved her stuff out of Florida when she died. I moved her stuff up to New York.
Oh,
Just the one living room had boxes stacked on like one side of it. And they pulled it up because of, not
Can
a clear fire path or whatever.
okay. Can you get, Jerry, can you get the, refresh our memory, not right now, but can you get us a timeline that you can send us on why we did what we did in 18? Yeah, I want to take a look
Yeah,
at
I'm
it.
curious why like my two snowplow trucks, I used to snowplow for the town of Babylon, you know.
John, you better be telling the truth.
I am. You guys took two of my boats, two of my snowplow trucks. You took like $80,000 worth of my stuff in my yard.
John.
I'm telling you, when I got out of the hospital, you said I had to pay $75 a day for storage. I didn't have the money to pay for it. Telling you.
All right, we'll get the timeline, John.
All right.
You work with Mr. Guarino?
Yes. Very
Okay.
good. Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. Is there anyone else that wants to speak to the board on the open portion?
I appreciate your
No,
time.
thank you, John. Yeah, you can go right over there, yeah.
Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. All right, motion by Councilman Martinez, second by Councilman McSweeney to